Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Why has everybody got to be so negative lately? Look at this price action. I know it's not so hot. I don't know. I'm just saying. The chart analysts that I've been following, and I'm actually kidding around because I trust that the vast majority of them really believe what they're saying. Maybe they'll be right, maybe they'll be wrong. But there's one in particular that says XRP may be going down to 19 cents. Oh my God, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight. Oh, well, actually, I do. Easily. Oh, my gosh. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to share with you the perspectives from at least a couple chart analysts, but I'm also going to share my own perspective and where I'm coming from, because I'm happy to share my personal opinion on this stuff, because this does not emotionally impact me whatsoever. And I know that volatility in any market impacts a huge number of people, especially when it's crypto, which is mega volatile. So there's lots to say. I'm just going to try and put things in perspective just the way I see it. Now, I do want to be clear that I am not a financial advisor. I'm not offering financial advice. I do not have a financial background. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write ever. Just want to be super duper clear. I'm just an enthusiastic member of the XRP community that has fun talking about this stuff and engaging with the rest of the community and making YouTube videos. So that is all it is. If you would please delicately tap the like button, I'd appreciate the support, and consider subscribing to the Moon Lambo channel. Because if you do, you will become more intelligent without any additional effort, and you will also be more physically attractive. There is science behind that. Ask your doctor. It will be confirmed. So at the time of recording, we have XRP at 25.9 cents. You have Bitcoin at $10,579. Hey, you know what? At least for now, I mean, we'll see if it stays there, but Bitcoin's above that quote-unquote psychological level of $10,000 that chart analysts like to talk about here. Market cap for the asset class, $342 billion, and Bitcoin dominance, I think this is the lowest I've seen it all calendar year, 57.03%. Maybe it got down to 56. I actually can't remember for sure, but regardless, it's, it was lower. Okay, I take it back then. It looks like it was, it doesn't show me when I highlight this thing. Well, I'm not going to waste your time any further. I guess it was down to like 56%. You get the cut of my jib, though. So, over the last 24 hours, the price for XRP, mind you, it was got as low as 24.6 cents, according to Livecoin Watch, as high as 26.6 cents, and again, as I record this, 25.9 cents. Now, although I'm never going to publicly divulge how much XRP I own because I'm just not that tacky. I'm just not. Look, I'm happy to be transparent to a certain degree, but for me, that would be a bit too far. It makes me think of this time when somebody asked, it was, I can't remember where this was, but it must have been the end of 2017. Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, was being interviewed on a stage for something somewhere. And the guy interviewing Brad Garlinghouse in front of a room of people said, so how much Bitcoin do you have? And Brad paused and he looked at the guy with this look on his face like, what are you asking me this? And what Brad Garlinghouse said was so perfect, he responded with, how much money do you have in the bank? I loved it. I was like, oh my God, that is the perfect response. None of your damn business is the answer right there. I just got a kick out of it. Well, really, and I don't think that anybody should, it's up to you, but I don't think anybody should publicly state how much XRP or any crypto they have, because it could potentially make you a target. Because even if your holdings aren't worth much now, what about the future if they are? What about that? And then they know how much you said you have. What if they're tracking you? Maybe somebody's got an Excel database because they're super creepy. So I'm not going to do that. But I will say, and this is all subjective, which is why I'm willing to use words like I'm about to use, but I will say I bought a ton of XRP. But it's all subjective. Like, what's that to you? What's a lot to you? What if a lot to me is 50? What if a lot to me is a million? Like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just saying, for me, it was like a metric F-word ton of XRP for me. That's what I'm trying to convey here. And I bought it around, well, there are a couple bigger ones, and it was around, so the first one's like 25.9 cents, the next may have been 28 cents, something like that, and they were both about the same size. And so I did that because I happened to, so I was always dollar cost averaging, and I don't want to tell the whole story because I talked about it. Just to be brief, though, I had extra money that I didn't want sitting in my checking account, and I was like, well, it's got to be invested in something, and I was like, what do I genuinely believe is going to perform the best over the next 10 years? Would it be the crypto asset class or the stock market? I'm going to guess the crypto asset class. Could be wrong. Again, none of it's financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what I did. And so I invested at those price levels, and it was, again, a metric F word ton. And so I recognized when I did that, the price could go down. And so what was I weighing when I did that? Well, understand, I'm not a trader, so it kind of depends on what you're going for here. And so I understand fully why people get so freaked out. And if you're one of those people, like, I'm not going to tell you to buy or sell. I'm just going to try and like mentally help you to not freak out, because I think that you're going to make bad decisions if you do that. From my perspective, it doesn't make sense to freak out, because where I'm coming from is a position of a person that is a long-term XRP holder. Whatever it means, whatever it takes, I will outpatient anyone else. Plain and simple, purely, I do not care. And so I knew that I wanted to put this money somewhere, and I thought, well, I know that there's about a 0% chance that if I buy now, I'm buying the bottom, but I'm not interested in trying to buy the bottom, right? I was like, so I thought, okay, it could go up. So I decided, what's more important? Do I want to take these, this bigger chunk of cash that I don't want in my checking account and still like use that to, in addition to my normal dollar cost averaging in, which I've been doing for almost 3 full years, do I want to like do that with this? And I thought, well, I could. And since I have the benefit of hindsight in the future, I don't know what would be best right now, but I do know that I want to make sure that I have a lot of exposure to XRP. That's what I decided for myself, which speaks to my confidence in it. And I've spent years following this, and so for me, I feel completely comfortable with this. And you have to decide what you want to do for yourself, talk to a financial advisor, but I'm just saying for me, this is what I decided I wanted to do. And I bought it knowing that XRP could go down to just about zero, or actually zero, right? Not that I think that's going to happen. I'm Mr. XRP Bull, but we saw XRP at 11 cents this year, right? We did. And so I was like, well, if it goes back to that, am I going to be crying? My answer to myself quite genuinely was no. I'm not going to care. I said I don't think I bought the bottom. I'm not trying to. I think that's an unrealistic thing to expect. It's going to go down, but I think it's going to be in another 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever. That's my guess. And so the way that I was looking at it is I want the exposure to it. And the only way I know I'm going to have the max, like this amount of exposure, is if I make this purchase right now. And that on top of the fact I've been dollar cost averaging in for so long, I was like, okay, whatever. So I have the exposure now, and I was like, that makes me feel better than potentially missing out, because who knows where the market's going to go, and I didn't want to have that much cash. I just didn't. And so I just made a call, and I was like, there's no way that this is going to be the best thing literally I could do with my money, because I don't know the way the market's going to behave. But the point I'm getting at is, it makes sense to make peace with the concept that you don't know what the market's going to do. Understand that the rest of the unsophisticated mouth-breathing troglodytes don't know what the hell they're doing. They're going to be buying and selling, FOMOing and panic selling, and that's why you get this volatility coupled with, so that's the frenzy, but also coupled with the fact that the markets are illiquid, which has a huge amount to do with this. It doesn't take much money coming in or out to have huge sways in price. So just knowing that is a thing because markets are illiquid, that helps me. That helps just to understand it, right? And I don't believe for a moment the crypto asset class is going away, even though people are still figuring it out. So in terms of the price action, you see it going down. If you're one of the people freaking out over this, I do sympathize. I'm just telling you the reasons that I do not emotionally respond like that. I just simply do not. I couldn't be more serious about that. And I don't care how low it goes. I still think that if I hold long enough, because there's genuine value to this, which is different than price, I think that price will ultimately follow the value. And that's what's more important to me. I just wanted the exposure, so that was my thought process for doing what I'm doing. Now, if you're a trader, you're not going to do what I just did. You're going to try and make money off of short-term moves, but most traders, about 90% of them actually lose money. I have no interest in that. I'm a long-term holder. I'm going to let everybody else do the silly FOMOing in and panic selling, and I'm going to be like, it's going to sit off to the side with a nice cold beverage and chuckled 2 to 3 times. It was 3. So what are they actually saying in terms of where this is all going? Well, I'm going to share with you at least 2 opinions from chart analysts. This first one comes from crypto media outlet You Today, written by Dennis Surachuk. And I do believe that he's operating in good faith, just to be clear from what I've seen. I haven't seen him write anything trolly off the top of my head. I can't think ever about XRP. So here's what he had to say about XRP/USD. The rate of XRP has decreased below Bitcoin or Ethereum. The decline has constituted 1.89%. On the 4-hour chart, XRP is also forming a reversal as part of a more profound decline. Even though a further drop is the more likely scenario, bulls might bring the rate of the third most popular crypto to 26.5 cents soon. There you go. and at the time you recorded or post this rather is at 25.8 cents. And so as the price of XRP goes down, what I want to reiterate this. The reason I'm okay with this, the big reason, is because I'm not looking at the United States value of my XRP. I'm looking at how much XRP I have. Because you know what? Even if the price of XRP relative to the United States dollar decreases, I still have the same amount of XRP. Okay? Like, one XRP is worth one XRP, right? That is not changing. That's what that matters to me right now. Not all this short-term price volatility. I do not give a damn. Just saying. Now here's an analysis from Rakesh Upadhyay, writes for Cointelegraph. Let me scroll down and get to the XRP portion here. And this was the one that sounded a little bit more dire potentially. I also believe that he is likely operating in good faith. So, again, you decide whether or not you think this is reasonable to believe in terms of the direction of XRP. I'm just reporting on it and sharing with you what I have learned from people. XRP broke below the 50-day SMA, which is 26.5 cents, on September 3rd, and plummeted to 23.5 cent support. The price has dipped below both moving averages, and the 20-day EMA, which is 27.5 cents, is sloping down, which suggests that the bears are in command. Currently, the bulls are attempting to defend the 23.5 cent support, but any relief rally is likely to face stiff resistance at the 20-day EMA. If the XRP/USD pair turns down from this level and breaks below 23.5 cents, a deeper correction to 19 cents is possible. There you go. And if that and I understand, when I made my large purchases recently, I knew that could happen, and I was like, I don't care, I'm going to still have the same amount of XRP, and I dollar cost average in, fine, a couple big purchases now, whatever, at least I'll know I have my XRP. And so if it goes down to 19 cents, I still have my XRP, and I don't care, because it's all temporary, and I'm never going to time the bottom, and you aren't either. If you're listening to this, you are not going to time the bottom, you're not going to sell at the top. That's a Fantasyland thing. Like, that is not happening. Because you'll be less than 1% of the population if you pull that off. And if you magically do, you'd be like 0.0001% of the population. It's a fluke. And you can go, like, tell your grandchildren about it one day. But I'm just saying, it's not happening, man. It's just not happening. So, with me understanding that and understanding just how volatile the markets are because it's illiquid, not because the sky's falling and it's all going to go to zero forever, that's my belief anyway, it doesn't affect me. It simply doesn't. I'm counting on it affecting everybody else, though. Here was an interesting piece also. A strategist who called Bitcoin's biggest crash says he just exited crypto market. Here's why. And we are talking about none other than XRP and Ripple hater Peter Brandt, who calls it a scam. Nothing personal against the guy, certainly not from my perspective, and I'm definitely never going to take, and I've said this in so many videos, I'm never going to take away from his genuine skill as a trader. He's had like best-selling book on Amazon, at least one I believe, and hundreds of thousands of followers, so I'm assuming that it's well-deserved, I would guess. I just think he's wrong, because when he talks about Ripple and XRP, it's not always chart analysis. He says things from a more incorrect fundamental perspective, such as it's a scam, stuff like that. I'm like, whatever. But still, credit where it's due. I think that he's obviously got some talent, right? You don't gain a following like that over a storied decades-long career if you don't know something. But this is interesting to me. He's out of crypto, and he's out of pretty much all of his assets. Check this out. A veteran technical trader who is known in crypto circles for accurately forecasting Bitcoin's historic 2018 collapse says he just exited the crypto market. Peter Brandt, CEO of the global trading firm Factor LLC, says he is selling most of his portfolio in stocks, the foreign exchange market, and Bitcoin to move into the United States dollar. Well, how about that? And that's why it caught me off guard a little bit, but only a little bit, because I conceptually understood, like, there's bubbles at play here, and so I always kind of wondered if you could magically know when the bubble would pop. It could make sense to have money in the dollar. I haven't really talked about that, but I thought about that, and I was like, well, I'm not going to pretend to know when stuff pops. And like, again, for me, I just want exposure to assets that I think will be worth more way, way, way in the future, even if it's not going to look so hot in the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months, whatever. I don't care how long. I just want exposure to it because I don't think it's going the way of the dodo, my favorite extinct avian creature. And so what's his reasoning? Well, he thinks the U.S. market bubble is in its final stages before it pops. And here's a quote. "This is what I believe about the U.S. market. Fight the Fed at your own doom. Getting bearish too early can wipe you out. Market in final blow off to 12-year bull market. Bubbles can expand further than anyone expects possible, then burst tragically. great profits in final push. So anyway, I just thought I'd mention this as an aside because it will be neat to see if he's right. And there's a lot of stuff going on, especially with the pandemic, this or that. Don't know exactly how this is all going to pan out, but with the decreased economic output, like in terms of like actual productivity of companies, juxtaposed to the increased value within the stock market, it might be a head scratcher. It's easy to understand why, though, if you understand like the government just printed money and then people took advantage of that and threw it into assets. I mean, I understand functionally why it happened, but it's not like the economy, due to the pandemic, is actually doing so hot right now. There's just a crazy number of people unemployed right now. So I will not be surprised if things in terms of buying and selling with the stocks and maybe even crypto, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down, because to this point, if you think about what happened just yesterday, this narrative of crypto being a hedge against tumultuous times isn't really panning out, because it has at times. It's like pick and choose your data points, but the other day stocks go down, gold goes down, and crypto goes down, all in tandem. Well, what's up with your hedge against tumultuous times narrative then? Like what's going on there? So we'll see. But if he ends up being a genius here, that would be something. But he did call the bottom of Bitcoin in 2018. So to his credit, I mean, he's had some notable, serious, correct calls. He called the top. I remember that too. He called the top of Bitcoin in December 2017. I don't know. This guy seems to know something. Well, I just thought I'd report on it. That's it for this video, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.